Welcome back, all my fellow freedom lovers. Today we're going to be talking about two optics ready range hammers in the way of the P10C optics ready and the SIG RXP X Carry. Now, if you don't know anything about the P10 series, in my opinion, one of the best out of the box striker fired pistols there is. Now, the SIG RXP X Carry is quickly becoming one of my favorites out there because it feels just absolutely great on the range. Now, before we get down and dirty into these things, this video is brought to you by my absolutely awesome Patreon supporters. Really appreciate everything you do for me, and you will get a bunch more exclusive stuff coming up here soon. And of course, the great people over at Shall Not Comply, bringing that awesome 2A swag they've taken on me and Reno May. If you're into the gun rights law thing, definitely check his channel out. But again, thank you to those groups of people. You help this channel in ways that I really just can't even explain to you, and I appreciate that. Now, the reason I wanted to compare these two together because they are extremely similar, both in barrel length and grip size. However, the SIG RXP is a 17+1, where the CZ is a 15+1. It's a little bit on the larger side of that compact version, a little bit bigger than a 19, a little bit smaller than a 17, so it's kind of an oddball fitting right in the middle of those two, just to give you guys a quick idea of size. We're going to go ahead and get right into these two pistols, the P10C and the SIG RXP X Carry, give you all those specs you need to know, and then we're going to talk about that range footage, how they feel, what they're like out there under that recoil impulse, and try to give you guys the best idea of which one you may be interested in. If you guys are interested in anything you see here as far as Patreon or the Shall Not Comply swag or anything else, those links will be down below. Check for that stuff in the description. But we're going to go ahead and get into both of these hammers right now. Let's go ahead and jump right into these things. We're going to go over some basic specs, some similarities, some differences, and feelings on these two. And we'll start with the P10C right here. So the P10C, this optics ready version, is a 15+1 9mm striker fired. Does come with those nice tritium front bold night sights on it, but they are not suppressor height. We do have a 4-inch barrel here, a total width of 1.26 inches, a weight of 26.3 ounces, and overall length of overall length of 7.3 inches. Overall, a great setup, and this one does come from the factory as an optics ready version. Let's go ahead and go over the basic specs on the SIG Sauer here, and I do have full breakdowns of all of these and full intricate detailed videos on both. If you're looking for that, check each one out individually. Those links will be down below. So the RXP X Carry right here, this one is going to be a 17+1 setup. It has got a 3.9-inch barrel, obviously 9mm striker fired. It has the awesome bright green night sights on there. They call them the X-ray day night sights. They are bright. Overall length of 7.5, a weight of 29.5, so it's a little portly, and it is absolutely a solid setup. So let's talk about similarities between these two so you guys can make a really good idea if you're looking at both of them. Both optics ready, both come with the night sights, however they are suppressor height here on the SIG. Both of them have ambidextrous slide stop, slide release controls, and a swappable to the other side magazine release button. Both are going to have front and rear serrations up here and very generous trigger guards right there. I'm a fan of that because I've got big hands, and in some things like Glocks, I don't have much room to get my finger in and out of there. Moving forward from that, they're both going to have very nice pick rails on there. TLR 7A is my chosen light for compact. Awesome lights. I have reviews on the 7 and the 7A. Check them out, but the 7A is the route I am taking. Now, when it comes to the frames, the angles are a little bit different. So we look over here, CZ, we have the ability to change out the back straps here. That's awesome. You can customize fit a little bit. Good overall texture, feels great in the hand. You can get nice and high on there. Overall, a great, very natural feel to this pistol. Now, when it comes to the SIG, the fire control unit in here is removable. You swap that from module to module. You can go to different sizes. You can do whatever you want. The modularity is awesome on the P320 platform. The modules here, the actual grip module, come in different sizes, different colors. You can get the different weights to put in there. They've got that really nice high backstrap beaver tail on there, so you can control this thing. Now they do break down quite a bit differently. The SIG, you lock it back, throw your takedown lever down. Oop, no need to pull the trigger, and just pull the slide off. Now the CZ is much more traditional, like many other striker fired things out there, where you ensure that it's clear. You do have to pull the trigger, pull the takedown, and then you can break it down. Minute differences there. Again, if you are looking for intimate details, I do have these reviewed separately. Let's talk about the bore axis thing and the size differences. So if we get these right next to each other, you can see here, we're going back plate to back plate. The CZ is a little bit longer, even though it is a compact design. We have a 3.9 barrel versus a 4-inch barrel, and the way they are set in there, just a little bit different. As far as that height over bore axis, because somebody is definitely going to bring that up, we'll try to get bottom of slide to bottom of slide there. You can see that the slide is a little bit taller, okay, on the right on the SIG. What that does is it gives you a higher bore axis, which means the barrel line is taller off your hand. As you can kind of see, if I put my finger straight down there, you can see the SIG is taller. So this is going to give you a little bit of a different feeling. Recoil impulse feels a little bit more like a kind of a buck, like that, rather than kind of like a snap. As far as how this fits, the grip module is absolutely great. Single finger groove in there, as you can see. Great texture all the way around, and pretty much the same as the CZ P10C. Feels good, very aggressive stipple pattern there, and then of course some great indexing marks up here with that same texture pattern, which the SIG does not have. Now when it comes to personal preferences, everybody likes, you know, a different pattern, a different size, different things going on here. Let's go ahead and talk about how these things bang on the range, the price point, and you know, if there's a preference between these two depending on what you're looking for. As you can see, those are very similar up there on the specs wise, but how do they feel out there? Let's talk about how they bang. Now the CZ P10C out of the box has a very natural point of aim, point of impact for me, because it's got some really good angles on it. You do have those interchangeable back straps. Very easy to control the recoil impulse out there, and it is just absolutely out of the box in the striker fire world a very good trigger. Now it is set up like the MOS system. You've got different plates. You can put most of your big brand optics on there. However, the plates are not included, and you have to buy the specific ones either from the CZ USA custom shop store or from an aftermarket supplier. Kind of like this one, I think it's 401 Manufacturing, and then QVO Tactical makes them, and a couple of other companies. So that is a little bit of a downer that you don't get all of the optics plates with the CZ. But again, like I said, out of the box, literally one of the best striker fired setups in my opinion. Now that's SIG RXP carry. This thing just feels absolutely great. SIG nailed it on the X-frame in my opinion. Feels good, and the modularity is huge. You take that fire control unit out, you can swap from grip module to grip module. I said swip again. Swap from grip module to grip module, go from different slides. Really awesome setup out there. Now the trigger on this thing being that flat face design and how it actuates in there really does feel good, and definitely separates it from other striker fired stuff on the market. Now for me, the point of aim on this and how it just naturally feels makes me more accurate, and it just overall requires me to put less adjustment and input into this as I'm aiming it out there, which is a huge plus. Anytime you're looking for the proper fit of a pistol or a grip, you need to make sure that it really lines up as naturally as possible with your natural wrist angles. Now both SIG and CZ have various different models of these out there. When it comes to the CZ, you've got suppressor ready versions, you've got the optics ready version. They've just got several ones out there, and you kind of get to pick and choose. Of course, optics ready, in my opinion, is the way to go because it allows you to grow into it. Now when it comes to price for the CZ stuff, I have seen this one as low as $520, and I have seen it as high as $700, just based on what is going on out there, and prices are really just all over the place. But again, like I said, for what you're getting out of there, you don't get the optic, you don't get the plate, you have to buy that stuff separately. So that is definitely something to take into account. Now when it comes to the SIG RXP X Carry, this is how it comes. Suppressor height sights, came with the optic, and it came with everything you see here but that light. Now prices on this thing are wildly all over the place because apparently SIG is only doing the X Compact now. They've kind of changed things around. So the last time I saw one of these out there, it was actually almost $950, I think it was. Which is not what I paid for this. I got it for around $850, which I thought was a decent price because of what it came with. Now, prices again are just all over the place because of everything that's been going on. So you may or may not be able to even find them available or for those prices right now. But SIG also has the X series, which has the plate with the rear sight in it. And those I've seen for around $599. It's just a little bit of a different model. Doesn't give you those suppressor height sight. So that is something to take into account as well. Either way, both the CZ and the SIG RXP X Carry are great choices. It's like one of those things, they're like kids. You love them, but you love them both for very specific and different reasons. Now, as far as which one would I choose, well, I'm not going to tell you because that's up to you. You really need to get your hands on them. Hopefully get them out to the range if you can. Now, I definitely like both of them. They both have something that stands out from the other. CZ has a better trigger out of the box. I'm a little bit more accurate with the SIG, but both of them are outstanding again, and it should be really up to you to decide which ones you want, because I'm not going to tell you which one I would choose over the other because I get to have both, and you may get to have both too, but if you don't get to have both, pick the one that best fits you. And then of course it's going to come down to price, availability, and all that good stuff as well. Again, huge thank you to all of my Patreons and Shall Not Comply. Make sure you check those out. Links will be down below. You guys get out there and have some fun with one of your favorite hammers, and I will see you guys on the next one.